Hey y'all, welcome to this video. It's going to be a subscribers pick my makeup video, kind of a YouTube classic, but I've never done anything like this. I solicited requests from my Patreon patrons for the items of makeup that I would put on my face. It's makeup I already own. It's not a subscribers pick the makeup that I buy video. It's a subscribers pick the makeup that I apply video. So they together have built the look for me or given me the tools to build the look. I'm going to tell you what the requests were. I'm going to tell you all of the makeup that I selected based on those requests, and then I'm going to put it all on my face. If this is your first time to my channel, I'm so glad that you clicked on this video. Welcome. My name is Hannah, and I have a passionate love for beautiful things. But in this day and age, that passionate love, which I think is an inherently good quality, can easily become something self-destructive if we fall into the black hole of overspending or just chasing the next best thing. So here on my channel, I try to balance my love of beauty with moderation. And if that sounds good to you, I hope you'll subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Joe is in the kitchen right now making baby food, so if you hear noises, particularly if you hear the blender blending the puree, that's what that is. But you know, baby's gotta eat, so we're just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna go through and tell you what my patrons picked. So I posted it in my Patreon, and it was a first come, first serve system. So if you were the first person to comment who wanted to select a lipstick, you could select a lipstick and then I'll pick that lipstick. And then later on, if people selected a lipstick, I'm going to default to the first person. And many people went and read through and made sure that they didn't double up on a category. I'll just go through, it's only been up for a day, so there are a number of comments, but it's a number that we can all go through all of them together, and I can let you know what people requested and let you know kind of how it unfolded. So the first comment is from Emma. She was really quick on the draw. It was 10 seconds after I posted it. And I'm so delighted that she picked Maybelline Gone Greige lipstick. This is one of my all-time favorite lipsticks. And I feel like no matter what else happens on the rest of my face for this, with this as the lip, it's gonna end up grounded in a kind of true HLP grunge look, and that kind of makes me feel safe. So Emma, by picking this right out of the gate, you made me feel okay, this is gonna be okay. It's gonna be a look that I can then go on to film more videos in. There's Gone Greige. It's a really wearable greige because it has a little bit of mauve in it. So Jocelyn was second on the uptake, and she requested the Fenty Diamond Bomb Highlight. So interesting. And then somebody came in and seconded this request, and there were 7 hearts on it. So a lot of people want to see me use this product. Yeah, Emily says, yes, I want to see this in action again. And it's true that I haven't been wearing this much, although I did get a ton of use out of it for the first year or two. And you can see I have hit, I guess, what you would call pan. I've been so into liquid and cream cheeks, and this is a putty, and it doesn't really play that well with those kinds of things. It's almost like it plays better with powders. And so it's a good thing that the blush or blushes that people have selected for me have ended up being powders. I'm excited to dig into this for this video. And yes, the very next request from Diana was for a powder blush, the Faded Clementine blush. And coincidentally, this was in the makeup advent calendar, and I just pulled it out. I guess it was actually yesterday, the day on which I made this post on Patreon. I had pulled it out and I had actually used it that day because them's the breaks, right? Those are the rules. I have to use the thing on the day that I take it out of the advent calendar. So I was wearing this blush as I read through these comments, and I had an interesting experience with it yesterday. The experience was that when I first put it on, it was really orange and really powdery looking. And then when I sprayed it down with an illuminating setting spray, I loved it. So I'm glad that I went through that because now I know what I need to do to love it today. But I'll be layering it with the highlighter today too, so that'll be different. Isabel was next with a request for the newest item to my makeup collection. This was a gift from my friend Simbri. It's the Victoria Beckham or VB Beauty Lid Luster in the shade Onyx. And this was Gone Greige. I think we're only 4 in, and already I'm seeing that this is gonna be a pretty intense, pretty grungy look, but that's exciting for me. I've already gotten a lot of requests in my YouTube comments to demonstrate the use of this, so this is a good one to be including in this video. So when I posted on Patreon, I put some pictures of my vanity, I didn't, you know, put up a full inventory, but I just put pictures for inspiration and to jog people's memories. And Carolyn peeped something on my vanity that I haven't talked about on camera yet. She said that she thought it was a Chanel foundation. It's actually the Chanel Le Beige Fluid Illuminator. So this is something that I acquired through, it wasn't a sponsorship, it was like a gift card thing from Nordstrom's during their Nordstrom anniversary sale. And you know, I think that they were hoping that I would do one of those videos like, you know, 10 recommendations, here's what you should buy for the Nordstrom anniversary sale, but I didn't do that. I just bought this to test it and review it, and it's just taken me a long time to circle back. I actually got it and the Charlotte Tilbury, whatever that thing, Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I'm planning to do a comparison video, and I just haven't gotten around to it. That was how I spent the gift card that Nordstrom sent me during their anniversary sale. So, Carolyn said the Chanel foundation, it looks new, or maybe I missed something. No, you didn't miss something. This is it. This is what you saw. It's the Le Beige, but it's not a foundation. However, I will use it. I'll incorporate it in the look and I'll demonstrate the use of it and kind of talk about how it's going so far between me and this product as I test it. Mary Jo was next with a request that I use this Kaleidos palette. It is going to be a little intense. I did say in the little video that I filmed talking about this project to my patrons that it would be okay to pick more than one eyeshadow because I can layer. But this is a pretty intense palette. Anything will be pretty intense, I think, to layer over the VB Lid Luster. And this one's a pretty intense one to layer because it's grungy, but I'll figure something out. I'll make it work somehow. I think I can use them together. Then Melissa requested that I use one of the Ofra X Samantha March products. So I already have a blush and a highlighter, and so I looked at the River Bronzer and the Chick Lit Blush and the Start Inspired Highlight, and I was like, I'm not sure that, I think it would be like a lot to layer those on top of the cheek that I already have. And I already had a lip picked out, so I didn't want to go with Samantha's lipstick, although I have been loving that lipstick lately. It was in the advent calendar, and so I started using it again, and I just love the kind of grungy mauve undertone. But I figured that I could probably put a little bit of the Millie gloss on top of Gone Greige. I've never worn Gone Greige under a gloss, so that'll be a really interesting experiment. So I picked Samantha's Millie gloss. It has kind of a blue-white icy sparkle, so it has the potential to really change the color of Gone Greige. Sarah requested that I try the ZC Glitter Mascara. I recently talked about this in The Reckoning and how I just couldn't get any glitter to apply onto my lashes when I tried it before, and then many of you suggested that I try it in my brows, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll put this glitter mascara in my brows. The wand is very intense, and it's a gold glitter, and I just couldn't get it to transfer to my lashes when I started testing it. Michelle requested that I use the eyeshadow palette that Julia curated for the advent calendar, and I do still have that little palette. She did a really good job. It's a beautiful color story, but I feel like we're done for eyeshadow at this point. I don't think I'd be able to layer any more eyeshadow on top of the ones that I'm already using, so I'm not gonna be able to use that, but I do understand why Michelle requested that because it is really lovely. I'll try to incorporate it in a future video. Same with Amy requesting Tom Ford Wild Ginger. I already have lips covered. And then Amy circled back and said, oh, I missed that lipstick was already chosen. Is the Melt product a blush? I can't remember. If so, that. So she's talking about this Melt blush, which was in one of the pictures that I posted. It's the Sundown Blush Light from Melt. And it is, I mean, it's like, they call it a blush light, but it's in a pretty deep color, so it's definitely a blush on me. I know I already said that I'm set for cheeks, but this is so similar in color to Faded Clementine that I feel like I might be able to work with both of them. This is a maybe. I pulled it out because I might try to incorporate it. Alessandra, really interesting request. The Glossier Future Dew to switch it up from my favorite, which is the VDL Lumilare Primer. And then later on, somebody also requested the Glossier Future Dew. So a number of people want to see me use this, and I'm happy to do that. I don't know how well you'll be able to see the line on the bottle because it's so iridescent, but I'm about halfway through this. I've had it since, I think since January, and I've used half the bottle. I like using this when my skin is very, very dry, and it is very, very dry, so this is timely. Margarita says, use the ColourPop pressed glitter on your nails with nail polish. I haven't been doing my nails lately. It's just been one of the many things that I haven't had the wherewithal to do, but I will keep that in mind for the future, probably not for this video. Sydney requested the Flower Beauty Illuminating Setting Spray, and I'm so glad that this was one of their requests because this is what I layered over the Faded faded clementine blush yesterday when it was looking kind of orange and kind of dry. And it ended up looking stunning, and I loved my complexion with those two products together. So I'm really glad that this is gonna be in the video and by request. Natasha says, I don't know if you even have colored liners anymore, but I'd love to see a pop of color. I do. I have sort of like a deep blue one and a deep green one. And then I also have this kind of bright red one from Milani. It's called Picante. And because I'm gonna be doing like a grungy blackish green look, I feel like this is the thing that's gonna contrast with that the most. So I'll incorporate this red liner. Andrea requests that I add in one of my colored hair extensions. So I picked this blue one, which I've never worn before, and it's not even trimmed. So at the end, I'll put it in and trim it to the right length, although maybe I won't even need to trim it. My hair's been growing so fast. And just right on the heels of that, Elena says, your loudest earrings. And I had a little bit of a hard time deciding what I think my loudest earrings are. I ended up going with these old standards from jcrew. Those big floral earrings that Joe gave me for my birthday last year, the Lili Sadugi earrings, are probably my most statement earrings, but because they're kind of a deep color, like a deep purple swirled lucite, they don't stand out quite in the same way as these do. These are so shiny and iridescent and so flashy that I feel like they're probably the loudest. So I'm gonna wear these as well. And I think that they kind of goes, right? We've got like this iridescent thing and this blue, and iridescence has blue in it. So that'll be good. Kylie coming through with a complexion request. You should use your Bare Minerals foundation stick. I totally will. I love, love, love the consistency of this. I've actually been using it more as we've gotten more into winter and my skin's gotten drier because it's so, there's the puree blender. Do you hear that? Pureed pears coming right up from Chef Joe. Anyway, I've been using it as my skin has gotten drier, and I do love it, but I've been reminded again how wrong the color is. Like, it's really kind of an almond on me. You know what I mean? It just really doesn't work unless I blend it with something much, much lighter. So I grabbed my Makeup Forever concealer to blend it together, and hopefully I can make it work. I also grabbed my NARS spot concealer because I've been, you know, spot concealing every time I do my makeup these days. Carlene wants to see a look with the Urban Decay Lounge Single Shadow. Again, I'm at capacity for eyeshadows for this look, but I will try to incorporate it in a future video. There were some other requests for Clionadh Multichromes, but again, I think I'm gonna stick at just these eyeshadows, but there were some requests for glitter. So Anne, a couple comments down requested glitter, and luckily there was glitter in my advent calendar drawer for today. It's like absolutely perfect. It's the Lemonhead LA Crystal Tokyo glitter. And I do think that I'll be able to layer glitter even over top of a pretty rich eye look. So I've got this. Nicolina made a really interesting request, which was no soap brows. Let's make this a challenge. So use any other brow product. And so I decided to use the M Cosmetics brow setting gel. I have said a couple times on camera that I don't like this because it's not strong enough of a hold. And for some reason recently, I have been trying it more and more and like trying to make it work. And I do kind of like the natural fluffy look that I'm getting. I wish the hold were stronger. I wish it were like a more aggressive gel, but I will at least get to show you guys kind of what I've been doing on days when I'm not filming. And even some days when I am filming, I'll be able to show you the kind of look that I'm getting with this. Courtney made a really interesting suggestion, which is to film a video where I use one palette or even a palette of singles for a full face of makeup. I've done a couple of those in the past, like way back during my No Buy year. I did one with the ABH Modern Renaissance palette, and I did one with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, not the original favorites, but the original Jaclyn Hill palette. That's not gonna work for this video, but I do love that suggestion, so I'm gonna keep it in mind for the coming weeks. Okay, and then all of the rest of the comments are either just people saying they're excited to see the video, or people requesting things that have already been chosen, or seconding requests that have already been made. So that's it, the full face is here. I'm gonna go ahead and start applying these products. Starting with the Glossier Future Dew and the Chanel Les Beige Fluid Illuminator. So I'm gonna put Future Dew all over my face as the primer, and then I'm using quite a bit of it because again, my skin's been kind of dry, so I'm really using it as like a skincare product. And then I'm going to incorporate some of the Chanel product on top. So that was like 2.5 pumps. I like it because it feels so nourishing and skincare-y. I feel like I can really take it like over my lips, or at least the edges of my lips, underneath my eyes. It doesn't feel like it's gonna set and create sort of a skin. It really feels like sort of a skincare oil mixed with a priming finish. It's not my top pick for longevity when I really want my makeup to like last and last and last, but it is often my top pick for a good, dewy, natural skin look when the weather is the way that it is and there's like a heater going on and my skin's getting kind of dry and cracky. The finish, as you can see, is beautiful and it is pretty beefy. It does tend to shine through the makeup that I use. So I'm gonna go in with the Chanel on top of that. It is pretty liquid, the Chanel product, and I have been using it like kind of in the same way, sometimes all over my face. Sometimes I've used it like all over my face, like a primer basically, and gotten a pretty glossy look. But today I'm just gonna put it gloss all across. Cheeks, nose, cheeks. And actually, I'm taking it a little bit down onto my upper lip. I really like the way that this Chanel product shines through foundation product on the planes of the face, like on the cheekbones and on the Cupid's bow. I'm not gonna put it on my forehead today though. I'm so shiny and I love it. I'm actually gonna put a little bit more of Future Dew over these blemishes just to really get them so they're not gonna be dry when I'm applying product over them. Okay, I primed my whole face and I haven't done my eyes yet. I just wanted to get that primer on there to like get it setting into my skin and especially getting it softening anything that might be kind of dry, especially the Future Dew. I really do treat it like a skincare layer. But now I'm gonna go in and do the eyes before I put anything else on my face because I'm worried that I might have to wipe fallout away. Although the times that I've used this to do like a full-on smoky look with just this, the lid luster, I haven't gotten fallout from it. So my temptation is to just put this all over my eyes like I've been doing. That's what I've been doing with this. But I know that I want to incorporate some of the Kaleidos. And this Kaleidos palette has the blackest black in my collection in it. The idea of using this incredibly deep, rich, velvety black along with the lid luster is kind of exciting. So that might be the main way that I incorporate it. But I'll try to get a little green in there around the edges. I'll try to get a little green in just because the Kaleidos palette is a green palette after all, and that was the request. So I'm gonna zoom you in and I'm gonna apply the lid luster all over, some of that velvety matte black in the outer corner, and blend out with a little bit of green just to give it some color, a tinge of green. Hey y'all, the camera turned off while I was doing the look and I don't know how much of it we lost. I'm sorry if it was most of it, but you know, I told you what I was gonna do and then I did it. So hopefully you can see how what I said I was gonna do is manifested on my eyes, and I freaking love it. I love it. And I would never have done this. I would never have combined these products if it weren't for these requests. So I'm really living for this right now. I'm gonna go ahead and add the other eye products. So I'm gonna put the red liner in my waterline and I'm gonna put some of the glitter on my lids. Okay, and while we're still zoomed in like this, I'm going to go ahead and try to work with the glitter mascara. I think what I'm gonna do is to apply a regular mascara. The Urban Decay Lash Freak was in the advent calendar, I think 2 days ago. So I'm gonna put it on, and then I'll try to go over top of it with the glitter mascara, and we'll see how that goes. And then I'll go in with the brow gel from Emma Cosmetics. You can see me apply that. And then maybe I'll try to add some of the glitter mascara. Or no, I should do the brows first in case some of the black mascara gets onto the glitter mascara wand. So we're gonna do M Cosmetics brow gel, glitter mascara in the brows, regular mascara, glitter mascara on the eyes. So it deposited a little bit of glitter into my brows, but I feel like you could only really see it close up, like if you're having a one-on-one conversation with me, which might be fine. Maybe my housemates will appreciate it. Let's go in with the mascara. I'm feeling a little bit reluctant to try to apply the glitter mascara on top because I don't want to mess up the lashes I already have, but I'm going to try to lightly brush it on. I think if I could get a little bit of glitter deposited there, it might actually look cool. It's working. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's cute. Okay, I actually kind of love it. I especially love it on my lower lashes. It makes me really wish I had somewhere to go because I feel like this is the kind of thing that it's not really going to add to the effect for filming, but it would really be amazing in person. I'll lean in as close as I can so you can see. I think that the trick is definitely to layer it on top of another mascara rather than going in on bare lashes, and to brush it on with the tip of the ball-shaped wand like that rather than the sides, because I feel like the tip is where the glitter is kind of collecting. Okay, we're grungy, we're glittery, we're smoky. This is absolutely one of my favorite eye looks that I've done in a long time. And there are so many things about it that I wouldn't have ever done if I wasn't trying to put together products or to use products or pushing myself to use products that I hadn't like chosen myself or reached for myself. So it's going great so far, guys. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna reapply some of the priming stuff to my face. I love applying glossy primer, but now I'm dealing with this really intense eye look, and I really do want to keep the skin natural. So I'm going to layer some of the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Foundation Stick with my primer, but I'm gonna try to go for kind of a light application, just a little bit of spot concealing, or I said primer, with my other concealer, my brightening concealer. And I'm going to do some spot concealing, but I might be keeping my skin like a little blemished looking and trying to keep it glossy looking. And I might even mix in some of these two priming products as I go to try to get a sheer application. Actually, I am gonna do that. I am gonna do that. That's the Chanel that I'm mixing in, which I think is supposed to be a highlighter. I actually think that this Chanel product, they're selling it as like an illuminating fluid, but I feel like it's like an illuminating mix-in, you know what I mean? It's not really a liquid highlighter. So there are kind of a lot of layers of stuff on my skin right now. The Glossier Future Dew, the Chanel, the Bare Minerals, the Chanel, layer, layer, layer. But I feel like all I've done is apply skincare. And I know that my skin isn't completely even now, right? Like I still need to go in and do a little bit of concealing and spot concealing, but I do feel like my skin's very brightened and definitely an improvement on how it was when it was bare. And because of the nature of these three products, I really just feel like I've been layering on and packing in skincare to my face, and I really like that. But now I'm gonna go in just with a touch of these more makeup-y products. Okay, so I feel like my complexion looks the way that I want it to look with these eyes. I don't know, I know that the lights often will blur things or just brighten and even, but in person, you know, you can still see some blemishes. My skin tone isn't super even, and I hope that you can see that on camera, but it's super illuminated, and I just don't want to put any more makeup on my skin. One other thing that's going on though is that my neck is a little bit more yellow in tone than my face, and that's because of the Bare Minerals. It's just pinker in tone than my skin. So I'm gonna use the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Highlighter, which actually Sarah requested on the Patreon thread, and I skipped over it because I was like, oh, I already have all my products picked out for my face, but I often do use this to bronze up my neck. So I'm not gonna use it on my face to sculpt. I'm just gonna stick with the other products for that, but I'm gonna use it for this kind of utilitarian purpose. It's a subtle difference, but this side, the sort of bronzy peach side, just has, you know, kind of a warm undertone. And so it changes the color of my neck ever so slightly. My skin has gotten so glossy that I'm gonna put a tiny bit of powder just in a couple of spots, just like on my forehead, maybe a little bit under here. And hopefully that will also help with the powder products I'm about to apply to my cheeks. Okay, let's go in with the Faded Clementine blush. I really want a quite diffuse application of it. Like I really want it to be quite soft. So I'm using the Rephr 22, which is a bronzer brush. It's like it's the dupe for the Tom Ford bronzer brush, which is what I just used to bronze up my neck. And I really am gonna try to go slow, because I think yesterday part of why it shocked me so much, it was so orange and just like so intensely illuminating, was that I used a more targeted brush. Even doing this, it's still pretty intense. So I really am keeping it to the outside planes of my face, like from the center of my eyes out. And so that I can go back in with the brush I used for foundation products and like kind of blend the edges and sort of push it out away from the inner part of my cheeks. It's still looking pretty intense, but it's definitely a better application than what I got yesterday. I think that using the big brush and tapping it off and going slow really did help. Okay, I'm gonna hit just the tips of my cheekbones with the Melt Blush Light in Sundown. And I think I am gonna do it with this little like fluffy, soft, diffused, I think it's kind of like a highlighting brush, but I'm really gonna tap it off and I'm gonna really, like there's almost nothing left. And I'm just swirling it in this one spot. Yeah, it's adding intensity. And I'm glad that I tapped off so much of the product. Okay, now I'm gonna hit it with the Fenty Beauty. And because it's so sheer, it's just like sheer with glitter, it will go over top of these. I'm actually gonna go in with the same brush that I was just using, that's what I'm gonna do. This applies well with a finger, but I think in this case, because I'm layering it over Color Cosmetics and I don't wanna get that like gray stripe, you know what I mean? I'm going to see how it goes just with this brush. Yeah, it's working, it's applying, and it is applying kind of like a really light dispersion of the product, which is what I wanted. Actually, this is a real learning experience for me with this product, because I think I tend to try to really apply it like scrape it on. I tend to try to want to get enough onto my finger or on my brush to like smear it on. And this, applying it this way, I'm loving the look. It's very wet look, but it's not, oh my God, I love it. I've been doing it wrong this whole time. Oh, look at it. I'm blending it into my eyes a little. Okay, this is literally everything to me. This is amazing. I'm so glad that I kind of dug back in this and gave it another chance, but that I was sort of forced to try it with this fluffy brush on top of these other products because I was worried that I was gonna apply it too thickly because I look so wet and I'm really here for it. I'm gonna put my mole back on with M Cosmetics lip liner in the color Mink. And I'm also gonna line my lips a little with it. I feel like it's a good match for Gone Greige, or it'll put down like a good base for Gone Greige. Okay, let's go in with the lipstick. It's kind of a light application, and then I even just blotted it a little bit even after I had applied it lightly. Because I'm planning to go in with a gloss, I don't really like it when a gloss like mixes with a thick application of a lipstick. It makes it super goopy. I like to go in thin layers. So to avoid getting the doe foot of the Millie gloss dirty, I'm going to apply it to a finger and then tap it over top of the lipstick on my lips. Okay, they look good together. I feel like they work together, those two. I definitely mixed them together on my lips, but because I had put on kind of a thin application of the lipstick, it turned into sort of a sheer glossy version of Gone Greige with a bit of a blue flip, and I feel like it's really working with the rest of the look. Okay, I'm going to spray on the illuminating setting spray from Flower Beauty, although I feel like the Fenty highlighter did to these powder cheeks what this did yesterday. Like, I already feel like they don't look too powdery, but let's see if this improves it even further. I mean, I feel like it's basically the same. I was already looking very dewy, but it did kind of like pull the whole room together. You know what I mean? I feel like, especially where I had powdered, I really like the setting spray actually. It's interesting. I've kind of not been using setting spray for a long time, and this one has captured my heart a little bit, and I've been excited to use it every day. All right, the earrings and the hair. Let's put the earrings on first. Looking amazing with the eyes, like it's almost like it was planned. Okay, let's put the hair in, but I kind of liked the way that my hair looked up with this look. I think I might put this in and then put my hair back up again with pins, because I feel like my skin is so dewy, you know what I mean? It's so glossy, and I love the way the earrings look with it. I'm just gonna mess around with it, mess around with this and some pins and see what we end up with. I think if I'm gonna pull it up, I wanna pin it from underneath so that you can see it on my head, like see it when it's pulled up. Okay, I might restyle my hair for the next video that I film. I might need to like sit back down with it and take some more time, but for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna say that this is the look. I ended up clipping the clip behind my ear so that the blue hair kind of like comes out from there and then swirls around. I used a scrunchie loosely, but then I pinned it all in place with bobby pins. And I did go back and powder a little bit underneath my eyes because I felt like it was just getting like super intensely glowy, like all the way in. Partly because of the setting spray, but I think also because I got carried away with that Fenty highlighter and like took the highlighter as gloss all across, and something so wet looking can kind of be dicey. Even the powder didn't do that much to like take down that intense shine, but it did help a little bit. And I repowdered a little bit around my chin where I have those blemishes, and I blotted the lip a little bit. So that's everything that I did while I was like speeding through footage. I love it so much, and it all I feel like came together really well. Everybody was just choosing what they individually wanted, but I feel like it came together really well. And curiously, this is kind of a cool toned look in so many ways, right? The lip is somewhat cool toned. It's much softer than like a thick application of Gone Greige, but even the reflect in the gloss is a little bit cool toned. So it's kind of like this cool toned mauve, and then the eyes have green in them. It's like green and smoky charcoal, and the glitters have some iridescent reflects. The earrings are, you know, green and iridescent and kind of blue soap bubbly, and then there's blue in the hair. So it's not what you think of when you think of a cool toned look, but there's a lot of cool tones. And then these cheeks are not cool toned at all. So this super glossy orange cheek is like contrasting with and also kind of grounding this very cool toned, but is like a smoky green leaning, swampy cool toned look. This was so much fun, and I'm so delighted with the outcome that it makes me want to do it again. Like, it makes me want to do this regularly as a recurring video on my channel. So, you know, if you would like to see that, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and be like, yes, this is a kind of thing that we would like to see you do as a series. I just took a break to drink water, and I like poured water all over my chin and like made myself cough and made my eyes water like right when I was like, I love this look. And then I was like, glug, glug, blah, blah. Which means that it's probably time to end this video and move on to filming some other content in this glorious look that you, my Patreon patrons, helped me build, that you selected. Thank you so much. And thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope that it was as fun for you as it was for me. And I really hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.